What's going on, everybody? Jonathan back to make another video, and this is going to be my first video since I think week 3, and we're all the way in week 8 now, so a good little drop off. I'm not going to do a prediction video. I'm actually going to do a SEC kind of evaluation video. I'm going to talk about the good teams, the disappointing teams, teams that I think could go to the national championship, all kind of things like that. Now SEC once again is proven to be one of the most dominant conferences in the country. They always are. I think they always will be. In the current BCS standings, they have 5 teams in the top 25, 3 of them in the top 10: LSU, Alabama, and Arkansas. Arkansas at 9, Alabama at 2, LSU at 1. You know, everybody's talking about LSU and Alabama. You know, Arkansas lost against Alabama. Ever since that, they kind of dropped off, but they're still in the top 10 that nobody's talking about. They're only 5-1. That's the only team they've lost to, so you got to give them a little bit of credit. Auburn, even though they've lost 2 games, they've still proven that somehow they always pull it out. I swear Gene Chizik is a magician, because he always seems to pull something out of his butt. I don't know how. Some of the drop-off teams that were kind of disappointing was Georgia at the beginning of the season, but they've won 5 straight. So, you know, everybody thought that they were going to be the last in the SEC. They weren't going to win that many games. They went from 0-2 to 5-2, and now they're second in the SEC East. And I think, my personal opinion, I think they're going to win the East because Georgia lost Stephen Garcia. I don't know how many chances that guy had to get before he got kicked off. That was just ridiculous. In my opinion, all the things he did, he pretty much deserved it. They just lost Marcus Lattimore, the heart of their offense, pretty much the heart of their team. The only person they really got left is Melvin Ingram. He's one of the best defensive players in college football, probably, aside from Tyrann Mathieu, probably the best in the SEC, if you look at his stats. Now I'll move over to LSU. Their current suspensions: their starting running back, and Tyrann Mathieu, and I think a backup cornerback to Tyrann Mathieu, who's like 4th on the team in tackles. That won't be as big of a factor as losing Tyrann Mathieu himself, but you know, it's still a big loss. They have Auburn coming up, and like I just said, Auburn finds a way to pull it out every time. I think that was going to be a close game either way, but that's just going to make it that much closer. If they're coming back for Alabama or not, I don't know if they've decided if it's just a 1 game or if it's a 2 game or 3 game yet. I think as of right now it's a 1 game. So they're still going to have them when they play Alabama as of right now. Alabama, Trent Richardson is constantly moving up in the Heisman standings. Against Ole Miss, he had, I think, 3 career highs. He had yards per rush with a minimum of 15 rushes. Most yards, 183, and most touchdowns were 4. So a few career highs in that game wasn't bad. A.J. McCarron has proven to step up, that he can be a game changer. And their receiving core is really good. It's a lot better than everybody thought they would be since they lost Julio Jones, but you know. And their defense, Alabama and LSU always have the best defense. You know, LSU's offense is statistically better. Alabama's defense is statistically better. That is going to be the game of the year. Watch and see. Whoever wins that game will be in the national championship game. Mark my words. Auburn, you know, they ever since that loss to Clemson, everybody thought, oh, well, they're just going to lose now. They're not going to do anything. That's not necessarily true. I mean, sure, they lost to Clemson and Arkansas, but look at Clemson. Okay, Clemson's all the way up at number 7. They were the team that nobody was talking about this year, but they have that true freshman, that number 2. I can't really remember what his name is as of right now. I'm really sorry about that. But he just set a record for most all-purpose yards in a single game at Clemson in his freshman year. Something to be proud of. So there's a future Heisman candidate right there. Well, now, you know, you have Arkansas. Even though Arkansas has lost 1 game, that does not mean they will still not be a force in the West. Okay, even though Alabama beat them, they can still beat LSU. And it looks like ever since their first loss to Alabama, they've been blowing teams out. I think Alabama beat them because they were the first big team that Arkansas played. They weren't ready for them. They didn't know what to expect from the SEC this year, but now they do. And now they're just blowing out constant teams. And Tyler Wilson, I got to give it to him. That boy can take some hits. I mean, all the crap he took from Texas A&M and Alabama, no doubt he's going to take some shots against LSU. Got to give him a little bit of heart. Auburn, for some reason I got off subject of them. A lot of people are starting to saying that take Barrett Trotter out, put Kyle Frazier in. Well, I mean, you're 5-2, and this is the guy's first year as a starter. You got to give him a little bit of a break. I mean, Auburn's a tough system just to walk into as a starter after somebody like Cam Newton just left. You got to give him a little bit of a break. I mean, that's just not fair. Who else? Big team, Florida. You know, they played Alabama, hurt their 2 quarterbacks, and they went into LSU. LSU beat them pretty harsh. You know, it's been a rough year for Florida. Jeff Demps got hurt. Chris Rainey hadn't lived up to the expectations ever since the Tennessee game was over. Ever since then, he kind of just dropped off. And, you know, I mean, I'm not gonna call him a bad team, but I think I think you just got to give Will Muschamp one more year, and then he'll be back up to their usual standards. And one thing is, and all the other teams are kind of usual for the year. Mississippi State was supposed to be a big team. They kind of dropped off, but I mean, this is still good for Mississippi State. You know, they haven't had a whole lot of great seasons in the past. So, you know, all the other teams are kind of usual. Kentucky, Ole Miss, all those. Vanderbilt. If anybody saw the scuffle with Vanderbilt's head coach and Georgia's defensive coordinator, that was just retarded. I don't know what they were fighting over. Either way, you know, I think both of them got fined. I don't know how much. One thing that's really kind of, you know, making everybody really mad is all the conference realignment. Texas A&M just walks into the SEC, and Arkansas gave them a taste of what it's going to be like. 510 yards through the air. That's welcome to the SEC. And now Missouri wants to join. How did we go from having, you know, just a regular little conference? They were the best, but, you know, they weren't, you know, huge conference. How did we go from getting Texas A&M, and now Missouri wants to get? Why does Missouri want it? I can understand Missouri wants to go to the Pac-10, but since, you know, they're a little north, why do they want to go to the SEC? And, you know, rumors circulating that they're going to go after Florida State and Miami and Clemson. What? All this conference realignment is just making everybody mad because it's in the middle of the season. Wait till the off season to do this. You're getting in the way of everybody's football games, and it's just making everybody mad. That's all it's doing. It's doing nothing good for these teams. Now, do I think Missouri will enter the SEC? I think, yeah, because now we have an uneven number of teams. Missouri has to come in. So, you know, woo, there we go. Thank you, Texas A&M. See what else. All the conference realignment, you know, they got the Pac-12, the Pac-16 Super Conference coming in. You know, they're still good teams. They're still mediocre teams. I don't think that changes anything. I think what all this is going to lead to is playoffs, because all the littler divisions, like the Mountain West, the Big East, well, there go all the bowl games that they're supposed to play. And if all these littler conferences dissipate and all you have left is big conferences, I think you're going to have to go to a playoff, because then you don't want to see, you know, Pac-10 versus SEC in every other playoff game, or ACC versus Big Ten in every other playoff game. And I think the Big 12 is pretty much just going to, you know, simmer out somewhere. I don't know where Oklahoma and all them are going to go. I think somebody said talking about the Pac-10 or the Pac-16, whatever the hell it is now. But yeah, I think it's all leading to playoffs, honestly, because all the littler conferences are just going to dissipate. They're all going to go away. And pretty soon, if we have all these, we're going to have, you know, an SEC versus SEC bowl game, or Pac-10 versus Pac-10, Pac-12, Pac-12, all this kind of crap. So playoffs are coming. I don't know when. Probably give it about 3 years. When all this stuff kind of boils over, I think it all leads to playoffs. I guess that's all I got to say for this video. Thanks for watching. I know I haven't made a video in a while. You know, I'm trying to start back. A lot of things were happening where I couldn't make them. like I said, if anybody has any software they could talk to me about making a good video or highlight video without giving me any viruses, please. I would love to use some of that software, because all the crap I have right now is pretty much giving me viruses. That's a lot of the reason why I couldn't make any videos. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll have another video out soon, and enjoy college football from here on out.